GM,
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
good morning. I can't complain. What a beautiful red day.
Indeed.
Don't stop us, though.
Hey, you know what?
Don't stop nothing.
You can't enjoy the sun without a couple cloudy days.
There you go. Flowers only grow in rain.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Cool, I think James is here.
Hello, James. Thank you for joining.
Good night, James.
We'll let a couple more people file in here.
Who, do you want to get the SubQuery account in here? Message him. Cool.
All right.
What's going on?
I think we're all square here, gentlemen.
Beautiful.
You want to take it away?
Let's do it. Is this, SubQuery?
Yeah, hey man, it's James
Oh,
here. How you
beautiful.
doing?
Oh, cool. What's going on, James? Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I mean, let's, get it, get it started, I guess. Obviously, thank you everyone for kind of coming. Xion and SubQuery. We've been working with SubQuery for quite some time now. Kind of all over the place, and we have been. I mean, it must be months at this point that we've been working together. Um, and so it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad we could get the spaces done. Definitely long overdone, low overdue, I should say. And without kind of further ado, James, do you want to give a little introduction on, maybe you personally, and then SubQuery, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thanks for having me. It's great to talk to your community.
Of
My name's
course.
James. My name's James Bailey. I'm the COO of SubQuery. A bit about me. I'm Kiwi, but I live in Singapore. So I apologize for the terrible accent. Had to deal with that today. I've been involved in the space for quite some time. Today's not the first collapse I've seen in a while.
Yep.
But that's not the first one. That won't be the last one, I'm sure. It's an interesting day out there in crypto and also in broader market, I guess. But I've been involved in the space for a long time. I first got started back in, I think, 2017, and earlier than that, maybe 2016, and I haven't looked back. I work as the CEO of SubQuery, and I can talk a bit about what SubQuery does next, but that really means that I'm just doing whatever needs to be done today, putting up fires, working on marketing articles, helping code sometimes need to be, although I'm a shit coder, so don't expect me to do good help with that. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, yeah, let's go into SubQuery because I know, I think you guys power honestly a ton of what we do, and I think you guys, not enough people know about how much we've been working together. So I think today's a real good opportunity to kind of show that, and then maybe we'll talk about the market.
Yeah, and that's a good point. So SubQuery, for those that don't know, is what we call a data indexer. We focus on building infrastructure tools, and a data indexer is one of the biggest one we do, and one that Xion, of course, utilizes quite a bit. For those that don't know what a data indexer is, well, let's maybe try to explain this in a very simple term. So let's say you're building a really complex application. And this application's got a really cool user experience. It's got a really cool UI. It's let's say it's an NFT marketplace, for example. You will want to have data to show in that UI. You want to have, like, if it's an NFT marketplace, you might want to show a history of who owned a certain NFT and what the floor price is for an NFT collection, what the previous price ranges have been for NFTs similar to this one. And all that is data that you expect from a application, right? Developers and users expect this kind of stuff. And that's no different in Web3. So what SubQuery does as an indexer is help solve that data problem. Now, the problem with blockchains are great, but they're not really good for reading data off the chain. They're very inefficient. They're very slow. They're good for saving and making sure that the data that you save is never changed, is kind of permanent. But they're not good for, like, really complex applications, really complex UIs with a lot of data on them. So that's where we come into it at SubQuery. We are a data indexer, and essentially a data indexer is a process that pulls data off the chain and provides it in a more faster and efficient way. So if you're building a complex UI for your NFT marketplace, you'll use a tool like SubQuery to power the UI by bringing data into that. And that's what Xion Network, of course, use SubQuery quite a bit to power different UIs, different applications that they build to make a better experience for users. Because no one wants to wait like 5 seconds for an application to load. They want it to be loaded quick. They want to see what they do. Like, people have high expectations out there. And Web3 is quite technically complex. So tools like SubQuery help solve that.
Yeah, awesome. What would you say, maybe it doesn't exist yet, or it does, but what do you think has been the most exciting use case for you guys? I know we talked about NFT marketplaces, but in your head, if you have like a dream scenario or something that's already being built, what's that dream look like?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I'm a big fan of prediction marketplaces. I
Okay.
quite like the idea behind them. And I like the idea that you can put a wager on anything out there in the world that can be kind of proven. And so we worked with a few prediction marketplaces to provide data for the UI for those. But yeah, there's a bunch.
Nice.
Custom people often ask me, like, what is your standard, like, customer of SubQuery? Who, like, what's the standard, like, market that you aim for? And the kind of the answer is, well, there's no really one standard. There is we work with teams and builders and networks that work in all the different verticals. We work in, like, DeFi, NFTs, prediction marketplaces, real world assets, AI. Deep in, like, any kind of industry or vertical you think of, we work with teams from that space because indexing is such a universal problem.
Nice. And I remember, this kind of goes back to my times on Solana back like 4 years ago, with something like I think we maybe had like a 2-minute load time, so I know exactly what you guys are where you guys are coming from, and the genuine pain that you feel when these things aren't indexed correctly, and it's everyone wants to have zero wait times, but no one wants to understand how it really works. So I think it's
And no one
awesome that
wants
you
to
guys.
spend time and effort to fix it, of course.
Yeah, yeah, because why would you, right?
Yeah.
Um, I guess that that could kind of lead into a different question, which is like, where do you think, being in the industry for so long, what's your hottest take of the industry, right? Like, no one wants to spend the time to get querying fixed. What's your personal belief of like your hot take?
Of what? Sorry, a hot take of.
The industry after being in it for quite some time.
I think we're still very early days in space, right? Like,
That's not a
with
hot take. That's
no,
basic.
no. Okay, hot take, hot take, hot take. I think I'm a big believer that I think VC money and the prevalence of VC money in Web3 kind of distorts what we should be building to what VCs want us to build,
Mhm.
and there's a negative effect of that in the industry. Is that maybe
Yeah,
a bit more
I
of a
think they.
controversial take?
I'll accept that one. I will accept that one.
You put me on the spot, man.
Well, that's the point of these things. I'm not, I mean, you don't want to, we want to something. Oh, how do you spell subquery? Those are
Yeah, of
boring
course,
questions.
of course. No, yeah, I feel like VCs, VCs are quite well at like asking or pushing people to build certain directions. They like the coolest thing. They like AI. They like deep in. They like,
Hmm.
you let them like pull out a buzzword of their ass, and they'll try to find teams to do that, right? And it kind of incentivizes people to build that. But I think VCs have kind of forgotten that the next challenge for Web3 is around building consumer applications. And so I'm a big
Yeah.
believer in the need and lack of consumer applications, the need of consumer applications for the success of the industry. And that goes a long way into what we do at SubQuery, the effort we put into it, because we build SubQuery kind of purely for this idea and this goal of like empowering these consumer-based applications, these
Hmm.
applications with hundreds or millions of users, because that's what those applications really need SubQuery.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think we're right. I mean, obviously, this is where one of the places that we work together very, very closely. But um, you know, I think as we relate to one of the main issues of this industry, you kind of see this a lot, which was like, probably the easiest place is gas fees, right? Which is you run into a hard issue, and very early on, as you're kind of moving fast and breaking things, you you effectively say, well, let's just pawn that off to the users, right? And I think indexing, and obviously specifically what you guys are solving is really, really key in that solving of, well, how do we actually, index this stuff, right? Which was really never settled or solved. So it's awesome that you guys exist. And, how long have you guys been working on subquery for?
Jesus, you're making me feel old now, man. I think we started writing code on it in the end of 2019 from memory.
Nice, nice,
Um,
nice.
and it was one of those things where we used to run a company beforehand that ran RPCs
Hmm.
for Polkadot network.
Oh, wow.
And as we're talking, this was back in the Polkadot boom. And as we were talking to all these teams that were building in Polkadot,
Hmm.
they're all saying like, God, it's like really hard for us to build. Like, there's no indexes. Like, have you heard of any guys out there building indexing tools and stuff like that? Like, and when you hear that as a product, I have a product management background, and when you hear that, it's like a wet dream for a product manager.
Hmm. Yep.
There's kind of really like obvious, clear descriptor of what a team wants. That's a clear demand, a clear like desire. And so we heard it enough times that we thought, well, shit, we should do that. We should go and build that. And so we did. And that's kind of the beginning of it all.
Nice, nice. And so, we went to the beginning. What are some current stats that you can share? What's the now? And then you could probably guess what the next question's going to be.
Yeah. Well, essentially at the moment now we're 208 different networks
Hmm.
that we support, including, of course, Xion. We've supported you guys for a while, I think, actually. I'm trying to remember how
It
long.
must be at least a year, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, there's an untold number of applications that use. Unfortunately, SubQuery is open source. And
Hmm.
we know that there are, I think, just under 10,000 public projects on GitHub that use SubQuery in their project, but there might be countless other private projects that we can't track. So I hate that I can't give you an answer that like how many times do you use SubQuery? I can tell you that my Telegram is a fucking mess.
Could tell you a lot.
I can tell you that there's almost 10,000 public projects on GitHub using it. But that's the joy of open source software, is that anyone can start using it, anyone can start modifying it, which some teams have done. And of course, anyone can build what they want to using it. So yeah, it's great to kind of have that relationship with. One thing that we're very careful about when we're building SubQuery is that the open source kind of ethos goes a long way. And part of that means like we're very forward in terms of trying to help teams that are using SubQuery. We learn more from our customers and our users, and that goes straight back into building and improving the product. And you guys at Burnt, I know, have provided a lot of feedback to us over the year. And our Telegram group is quite active between our two organizations, which is great. This is what you want, right? You want this like to and from kind of collaboration going on.
Completely. Yeah, I mean, I think it's also been awesome working with you, the whole team. I think you look at our SubQuery chat. There's like 25 people total. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? There's everything from marketing to. And it's funny because I always feel bad because getting a message from me and they're like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" It's always a lot of fun. But yeah, so we got the where you guys came from. We got the now. What does the future hold? What's the long-term goal? Where you guys heading? Yeah.
So we were this over the last 2 years. One of our big goals, and I guess we've just done this now, is a decentralized network. So when you're running an indexer is a kind of a task, right? It always runs as a chain carries on. So as blocks are kind of finalized on the Xion network, for example, the indexer will continue to scan those blocks and do stuff with those. So pull the data that you want off it. And we know that you need to run that somewhere. So for a long time, we have a managed service, and we still do, where teams can give us that project and we'll run it for them, and we'll run the infrastructure. Teams, of course, can do it themselves because it's open source, and many do. But we know that having a single centralization, a single point of failure, is, of course, the antithesis or the opposite of what Web3 kind of aims to achieve. It is like a sore and ugly, inconvenient truth in this industry is that the applications that are the most like visible in Web3, some of them are utterly dependent on centralized services from big like RPC companies or big like data providers or centralized liquidity providers. Like there are some companies and decentralized applications, as they say, and I say decentralized with my like
air quotes,
para quotes in the air, that rely on centralized organizations, and that's not okay in our view. So we've put a lot of effort in the last 2 years to building a decentralized network, and that means you can give your project to the network. Say, here's my project. Can someone please run it? And you can have multiple people around the world running it. You can do that in a trustless way, and that means that you have a lot more resiliency, a more geographic distribution, and you don't have one entity that can kind of shut the lights off and shut you down, right? And turn off the Xion applications.
Time and time again. Yeah, man.
Exactly. And so we put a lot of effort into that. We've launched our network. We're just growing it nice and slowly now. But we're now thinking about, hey, this network that we've put a lot of time into building, I think we can actually use it to run other things that aren't necessarily data indexing. And a few months ago, we launched decentralized RPCs on there. But we're also looking ahead at different other kind of infrastructure workloads that we're running there. And the big vision here that we're kind of morphed into is, how can we become a decentralized infrastructure network? Because again, as you said, there's always unsexy infrastructure projects that power things behind the scenes. As you say, like people don't realize how much tools and services applications need. And we like to work in that. Yeah. We like to work in the shadows. We like to work in those kind of those unsexy back-end services.
Yep.
We're pretty boring people. So
That's where I mean, but I think that's where there's a lot like most of the innovation genuinely happens because it's unfortunately it's the unsexy shit that maybe not many people want to do, but is very 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 necessary. Right?
exactly. So that's what we're working on at the moment. That's our big kind of goal, and that's a kind of continual goal for next year is to expand and grow that sustainably, and
Nice.
to decentralize more infrastructure services.
Love that. Nice. That's
Other
awesome.
ones,
Yeah,
yeah.
more. Awesome. And so, how big is the team now on your side? Because you guys have been
Yeah,
growing.
the team, we've kind of got the right size, I think. I think we're at 25 people.
Nice.
And we're split over a few different geographies, which is
Hmm.
good. But most of our team's based out of either Singapore, New Zealand, or China.
Hmm.
So we've got a pretty cool team, work hard. And yeah, no, I think you see all these teams that have like hundreds, if not, near 100
Yeah.
people. And you're like, one
What the
thing you
fuck is
realize
going
is that
on?
headcount does not mean velocity, right? Like it's
Yep.
just like a lot of people talking and stuff. Like the best thing about Web3 is that you can achieve so much with such a small, efficient team. And I see all these like cool small projects that have like world class team,
Hmm.
and they just like are awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think like, even as you look, I remember that used to be the biggest flex in the world, right? Or not, maybe flex is the wrong word, but it used to be, oh, we're doing so well, we increase our headcount by this, and it's like
Mm.
that's not impressive at all. As a matter of fact, that's you guys are, and then it ended up being, FTX.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was a mistake we all learned from. It's amazing how fast you can fall, right? Icarus can fall so
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah, faster than you rise. I mean, look at today. That's probably a good example as well.
Well, yeah, like the crypto market's probably a symptom of it, but like it's across the board, across the deck, really. Like it's just amazing how quickly, everything is just plummeted today. Like, is this the end of the great big AI driven bull run of the US equities, maybe? And crypto is probably like east side of that. They say it's all because of Japan, right? So,
Yeah,
or
so
it stems from Japan.
everyone's trying to make their own logic out of this, and I think that's especially being in this industry, it's always funny to see uh, the stories. I guess maybe stories is the wrong word, but just the narratives, right? Which we're going to war, we're the jobs, Kamala Harris. There's always something. Very very interesting. And sometimes war is good, sometimes war is bad, but right, and there's no real consistency sometimes.
People always want to find a really good um, reason or story behind it, as you say, right? And sometimes
Always.
there's not. There's not. Like it's they're looking for
There's,
something where it doesn't exist.
yep, exactly. It's interesting. It really is. Um, but yeah, and so I mean, you've been here since 20. You said 2019.
2017 or so.
2017.
Mm.
How do you, as a seasoned veteran, how do you take today? You go for a walk. You don't look at the charts. What's your
No. Today is just another day. Today is yeah. No, it's. Um, I was lucky that I was kind of between some positions, so I didn't really have everything in
nice?
at the moment, which was kind of
Congrats.
lucky. And I had a short position in the equities kind of side of things as well that
Nice. All right.
has done okay. Um, but yeah, I think like you win some, you lose some. I think the thing about like if you are active in terms of the crypto markets and most people don't make money trading. So this is not by
Yeah,
no means any
that is true.
recommendation or like like but the key I think is how you handle days like today, right? How you
Hmm.
how you learn from them, how you try to push away the emotions of it because there are emotions. It kind of
Yeah, of
sucks.
course.
It fucking
Yeah,
sucks. And how you kind of push your emotions away and kind of deal with it.
yeah. Just work right through it,
And
kind of.
and learn from it. Like try to turn like how can you cast that in terms of a lesson? So that's the main thing. But cycles happen every year. Cycles happen all the time, and this will not be the last one, and it's not the first one. And
Yep.
so just go with that.
Yeah. What about working with teams? Do you give like an all hands prep speech of the first scene in margin call?
No, we're not. I would love to be inside, like a fly on the wall of like a big bank or
Yeah,
trading
right?
firm right now. That would be fascinating. Like, yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, I'm not into that. Those guys are a bit like they're vultures, I think to be working in that industry is pretty tough. Like the best thing working in Web3 is like there's a lot of us still building stuff because we believe in
Hmm.
the kind of the vision that it provides. Some, of course, people are in Web3 to
For other
like
reasons,
make a
yeah.
quick buck, which you kind of pretty quickly figure them out, right? And you
It's very
just try to
easy,
avoid them.
honestly. It really
Yeah,
is.
it is. And it's always funny going to conferences and you're seeing people like dressed up in certain ways and talking in certain ways, and you can very easily spot them. Um, it's a shame, but that's what
Yeah,
we have, and
just what it is.
it's what it is, right? And so, like I think the main thing is like good ideas and intentions trump negative ones, and
Yep.
so those of us that are building and kind of trying to change the world, uh, you know, I feel like we're so much more motivated than they are,
Yeah.
and yeah,
What was the other ones? It was like I remember back in the day, the we can stay liquid or we could stay retarded longer than you can stay liquid. It's just
yeah,
funny. Always love
exactly.
that more than anything. But yeah, I mean, and so that's awesome. Are you heading to any of the major conferences? Any KBW
Yeah,
token?
yeah, no, no. I've just been at ECC about 2 or 3 weeks ago,
Oh, nice. We miss each
and
other.
that was amazing. That was huge. It was massive. It was like 6 days of just non-stop side events,
Yeah.
and we saw a lot of partners and our customers there. And I think basically just I lost my voice at the end of it. By the end of it, and
Always. That's how you know
you
it's a good
know,
conference.
the number of people you talk to probably in the thousands. And then I've got Web3 Summit in Berlin in 2 weeks' time as well. We're doing
Hmm.
a little demo there, and of course we'll be there in Token. And Dev
Nice.
Connect is everyone's going to Dev Connect this year in Bangkok.
I
Apparently, it's
know a
pretty
lot of
big.
people. Yeah, there's a lot of people
Yeah,
going to Dev Connect. I think our CTO is going to Dev Connect.
yeah, a lot of people are recommending it. So we'll probably be there as well. And of course, Bangkok's always a bit of fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't made my way out to Bangkok. Actually, haven't made myself out to Bangkok, Korea, or Singapore yet. So this is my first time for all of these. Very
Oh,
exciting.
lovely! You have a great
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Shock. Well, hopefully we'll meet up and we'll grab a drink.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Cool. What was I gonna say? Is there anything, that you kind of, I know we're kind of coming up on time, so I want to be respectful of your time and give you the opportunity to talk about subquery, anything that you might want to tell the people listening.
Yeah, check out our web network. We've got a delegation program running at the moment called the Summer Delegation Frenzy Program. Delegation is a great way to get involved. You can
Hmm.
delegate to your favorite indexer or node operator, and we've got a big points campaign on now for competing challenges. So it's a great way to get started. The APIs are quite juicy at the moment. And yeah, it's a great way to go and get involved. But if you have more questions, if you're a developer trying to build a Mazzan network, for example, reach out to me, send me a DM, or send SubQuery account a DM, and we can happily give you a demo. We can show you how to use SubQuery. I'm sure that the Zion team can kind of attest how easy and how straightforward it is,
Yep.
and how helpful it can be to their applications, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And and I think I've worked with a lot of querying RPCs. I honestly don't think that we've worked with anyone better than subquery. And I mean, in my seven. Fucking, how long have I been in this industry for? 8 years? I don't know. And I honestly, for anyone, I mean, it's funny because it's definitely a no-brainer. I don't think there's anyone who's building on it that we haven't brought your way. And so it's awesome, kind of this, call it partnership, call it whatever the hell you want to call it, but just this working dynamic that we've had for a year. And that's Yeah, I think the beautiful thing about the way that we work is it's kind of been very like uh antithetical to a lot of how a lot of crypto quote unquote partnerships work, which is like make a very loud, big announcement about how we're working together and then almost do nothing together versus working really, really, really hard together for over a year and then finally getting out of spaces together.
Yeah, finally. But it's great to be here. It's great to be talking, and it's great to kind of have a live chat with you, man. It's always good to kind of you know if you can't get face to face, at least
Yeah.
get on a call.
Yeah, definitely. You as well. And I look forward to a lot more coming. A lot more things needed to be indexed and queried, and it'll be really fucking exciting. So as what's the best way for the people here to kind of follow along with the
Yeah, follow along the SubQuery account, which I'm on, and check us out. Look at our website; it's all there. Whatever way you want to communicate, Discord or Telegram or whatever, we've got communities and groups for you.
Awesome, great, and listen, I appreciate the time, and we'll definitely get more of these on the books. And I'm sorry it didn't happen sooner, but excited for plenty more of these. So, and I know the community is as well. So I appreciate you coming on, and I will talk to you soon.
Excellent, man. Thank you very much.
Of course, talk soon.